Imagine what it would be like to win thousands of dollars every night, going into the casino and making people look at you as you continue to win and win, time after time. Now think about the point where the security begins to watch you. Not because you have been lucky, it's because they know what you were up to. But now that they have caught you finally, there are no rules, no witnesses, no mercy. Because Ben did not go to Las Vegas just to the game of blackjack. He went there to outsmart it. Indeed, he beat the system, and the system never forgives. This one mistake destroyed everything. In the beginning of the story, viewers meet Ben. He is an exceptionally bright mathematics student enrolled in MIT. At first glance, it is evident that he is a living embodiment of success. Ben is genuinely smart, responsible, and diligent. His goal is clear, that is to enter Harvard Medical School and have a successful and productive life.
Some grew up wanting to be, a fireman. I grew up, I just wanted to come here to Harvard Med.
However, unlike many others, he does not pursue excitement and adventure. Instead, he works hard and follows his own path to success. The only problem is that real life differs from his expectations and dreams. While Ben may be smart and hardworking, there is one thing that he cannot figure out through mathematics or logical thinking, that is money. His goal is too expensive for him to afford on his own, and despite having applied for an elite scholarship, he finds his odds still bleak. This is no easy feat. There are dozens of other bright, distinguished candidates who are all vying for one shot at success. And in this world, perfection is no longer enough. It's time to make yourself noticed. This is when Ben starts to question himself.
Ben, last year the Robinson went to Hum Jae-wook, a Korean immigrant who has only one leg.
Well, I have both my legs.
Well, have you considered cutting one of them off?
He has been doing everything right, making all the right choices, and keeping his eyes on the prize. But this is when he realizes it might not be enough, because he has not been taking risks and living an interesting life. It's the first time Ben has realized something disquieting. There are times when doing everything right won't bring success, but it will just make you blend in. A life that feels stuck. Besides the college education, Ben also has a job outside the university as an assistant manager at the local clothing store with his best friend Miles. The work pays Ben $8 per hour.
Wait for the new assistant manager to come to work. Congratulations. How does $8 an hour sound?
$8?
And though it is honest, consistent, and dependable, it always brings him back to reality, as it shows him just how far away he is from achieving his dreams. One day, in the dead silence of the store's warehouse, filled with piled-up boxes and uniforms, Ben vents all his frustrations at Miles. He explains to his friend how tiring it can be to struggle so much, yet be in the same place, because whatever he does, there is still some distance between himself and his goal. Miles tries to comfort him and assure him that everything will turn out okay eventually, but Ben is not convinced. For one thing, he knows that something is wrong somewhere, that his life seems to move away from the path he had set for himself, and now he is not sure where it will lead him. Things begin to change for Ben when he participates in one of the lectures being held by Professor Mickey Rosa. In class, Ben is immediately noticed due to his ability to solve difficult mathematical problems, much easier than others. He even corrects his professor once, which impresses him and his classmates. This is where he meets Jill, whom he saw once before and whose appearance gives him a strange feeling of discomfort. Surprised by his extraordinary mathematical abilities, Professor Mickey Rosa invites him for an informal meeting after class. Ben accepts the offer out of curiosity and concern. What follows is not what he anticipated, as the meeting turns into an introduction to a circle of students who play blackjack while discussing math, probabilities, and card combinations. Professor Mickey proposes his project idea and work with them as a team, apply this advanced knowledge of mathematics, and win casinos through their system. At first glance, it may seem like a joke, but then the reasoning of Mickey begins to frighten him. The team clarifies that playing blackjack requires knowledge of probability, which allows them to use the cards already dealt to make predictions about future plays that will allow them to get an upper hand against the casino. A certain number of points is assigned to each card, and by keeping track of the count, the player can know when the deck becomes favorable. This is a strategy that depends entirely on discipline, memorization, and exact calculations make up the system. Everything is determined, unlike the methods employed by many other gamblers. For Ben, this approach seems sensible, Unlike traditional gambling, which is all about taking risks without any sense of certainty, this system appears more controlled and based on mathematics, something he feels comfortable with. Yet, there is always that part of him that doubts the wisdom of crossing that line. Ultimately, however, curiosity and his circumstances win the battle. With Jill's encouragement, Ben opts to be part of the team.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, Ben, it'll be fun.
Ben gets into rigorous training wherein each action counts. He should count the cards precisely, read the hands with keenness, and have no emotional outburst regardless of the situation at the table. The game, which he thought was straightforward, becomes an intensely competitive mind game, wherein each move and each choice counts. For the first time ever, Ben goes on a mission in an underground casino. It is a high-stress environment, but Ben forces himself to concentrate. He keeps track of the cards, analyzes the odds as they unfold, and increases his wager. To everyone's surprise, he plays flawlessly. Card by card, everything goes according to plan. As soon as the night comes to an end, only one thing stands out: that he is not just a participant, but he is a brilliant player as well.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Very soon, Ben heads off to Las Vegas along with the team members, and suddenly, his life changes completely. He finds himself in another reality which he's never been exposed to before, a world of luxury and lavish spending, where expensive hotels, trendy clothing, private suites, and endless amounts of cash all around him feel like an effortless reality. Playing the game of Blackjack, he gets into sync with the process. His friends give him all kinds of cues and tips, while all his thoughts and strategies help him make all his decisions wisely. He plays as if he knows the result beforehand and starts winning steadily. In a matter of just a weekend, Ben makes more cash than he could in years of legitimate hard work. For the first time, everything about it is effortless and easy to achieve, and it feels strangely simple. Money provides him with increased confidence, but at the same time, Ben begins to transform into someone else. He lives the life he didn't think was possible to live, spends money like there's no tomorrow, parties, and revels in his victory. Fisher becomes suspicious. After that team meeting follows, Mickey praises Ben.
Ben, good work. You came out of that shoot like a pro. Keep it up.
After the consecutive victories, Ben hides $16,700. He and Jill grow even closer, making his life much more exciting than ever before. At the same time, however, Ben begins to stray from the path he chose before, as he ignores his obligations and stops meeting up with his old friends. His personality begins to change into something else. Everyone on the team is not pleased about Ben's success. Fisher, who is a member of the team, becomes envious and impulsive. His actions draw the attention of the casino security, who then begin keeping an eye on the team. The security tries to analyze the activities of the team. Meanwhile, the arrogance of Ben increases. Ben feels that he cannot be beaten because he controls everything, and with that beliefs, Ben ends up creating his own problems. On one of his trips to Vegas, Ben makes an important blunder. Instead of following the process that had ensured his success so far, he allows his emotions to control him. Ben plays despite knowing he is losing. He attempts to recover from his losses and win all his money back. However, this does not happen. In a split second, he loses $200,000. And just like that, everything changes completely. Now, Mickey is extremely angry. No excuses can be made, no do-overs allowed. From that moment on, Ben becomes completely responsible for this enormous loss. Desperate to make his fortune again, Ben makes another attempt to get it back. However, he fails once again. This time, Mickey turns against him, informing the casino security about it. The unlucky young man gets caught, thrown into a separate room, and badly beaten. Finally, Ben realizes how dangerous it was for him all that times, as Mickey betrays him. After returning to MIT, Ben realizes that all his hard work goes down the drain because he gets bad grades, his dormitory room is ruined, and he is out of money. Now, with no options left, Ben must deal with the repercussions of his choices. He reaches out to Miles and makes amends for leaving him and their dreams behind. For the first time in his life, he realizes the extent of his loss, not only financially, but mentally and emotionally. However, at this point, One last opportunity awaits him. Ben suggests one more trip to Las Vegas. It is a last chance to regain all losses and depart forever. This time, their actions are well planned, calculated, and controlled. In disguise, Ben and his group return to the casino. All goes as planned. They play smart, follow the rules, and win big. $640,000, and it feels like victory. The twist, outsmarting the master. However, before they can flee, security intervenes. The situation turns chaotic as they try to run away. Mickey escapes with the cash, or at least thinks he does. Once he opens the bag, he realizes the deception that it's nothing but counterfeit chips. It was a brilliant stroke by Ben, who cleverly substituted the real thing with counterfeits. With his last trick, Ben showed that he could always think ahead of everyone else. Though Ben's strategy is brilliant, he is unable to make away with the fortune he was expecting to pocket. Ultimately, fate catches up with him, and the money goes out of his reach once again because of the unintended consequences of his actions. The man leaves with absolutely nothing, neither any fortune nor the fast track to a comfortable living that he was hoping for, with all that he had attained vanishing into thin air. Yet one thing that he is left with stands out from the rest. Neither is it success, nor is it failure. Just lessons about the risk, consequence, and the illusion of control. In the end, Ben discovers one thing. The worst part of his decision-making wasn't his willingness to take a risk. It was the belief that he was invincible. Being intelligent comes with its advantages, but it also has its pitfalls. He was so sure of himself because he was sure that everything was quantifiable, which it wasn't. The problem with the world is that it isn't predictable and calculable. There's always an element of randomness and uncertainty in it. And then, when you think you have got everything figured out, it's usually when things start falling apart. Thanks for watching this video. If you really enjoyed this story recap, go ahead and hit that like button, drop a comment, and of course, subscribe for more stories just like this.